The allure and audacity of Mary Carleton, England's infamous pretender princess. You told me you were a lord, and I told you I was a princess, and I think I fitted you. Mary Carleton on trial, confronting her accusers with wit as sharp as her schemes. Introduction. The art of deception in Restoration's England. Step into the bustling streets of London in the 1660s, where fortunes are won and lost overnight, and social climbing is as much a game of appearances as of bloodlines. The Restoration has ushered in a new era of revelry, excess, and ambition. Amid this vibrant confusion, a cunning woman from Canterbury reinvents herself as a German princess, seduces England's elite, and leaves a trail of scandal and broken hearts. Her name is Mary Carleton, and her story is one of audacity, wit, and the dangerous allure of deception. But Mary's tale is more than a footnote in the annals of crime. It is a window into the desperate hopes and ruthless ambitions of her era, and a cautionary lesson about the thin line between survival and subterfuge. From shoemaker's wife to princess, Mary's early life. Mary Modders, later Carleton, was born in Canterbury around 1635, into a world where a woman's prospects were tightly bound to social class and marital fortunes. She was the daughter of a respectable, if unremarkable, family. Like many women of her station, she married young, a shoemaker, her first husband. The union was ordinary, but Mary was not. She yearned for more excitement, more luxury, more freedom. But in 17th century England, a woman's mobility was dangerously limited. Divorce was rare, and remarriage without proof of a spouse's death was illegal, punishable as bigamy. Yet Mary was not one to let the law or society's expectations stand in her way. At the age of 25, Mary faced her first charge of bigamy. She had remarried while her first husband was still alive. Her defense? She had received word of his death before marrying again. With a straight face and a convincing performance, she persuaded the court to acquit her. Rather than slink away in shame, Mary left the region unrepentant and ready for her next act. Reinvention in London, the making of a princess. Years after her first scandal, Mary reappeared in London, a city teeming with opportunity for the bold and the desperate. But this time, she was no longer the wife of a shoemaker. She was Maria von Wolway, Princess of Cologne. How did she pull off this transformation? Mary understood that in an age obsessed with status and novelty, a foreign title could open doors that hard work and honesty never would. She invented a tragic backstory. Her noble German family slaughtered in the wars, her fortune left in limbo, her plight desperate yet dignified. Her accent, her manners, her carefully forged documents, all seemed to confirm her tale. London's elite, ever hungry for exotic company and the thrill of royal proximity, welcomed her into their circles. She captivated wealthy men, who vied for her attention, eager to win the hand and supposed fortune of a princess. The Carleton marriage, a match made in deceit. Among Mary's suitors was John Carleton, a scrivener and minor nobleman, or so he claimed. Like Mary, John was not all he appeared to be. Their courtship was swift, their marriage lavish, and their union a collision of two master pretenders. For a time, the Carletons were the talk of the town, but secrets have a way of surfacing. John's family, suspicious of Mary's story, began to investigate her background. It wasn't long before her web of lies unraveled. When the truth came out, John and his family dragged Mary to court, accusing her of bigamy, fraud, and theft. But Mary, ever the actress, turned the tables. She accused John of misrepresenting his own fortune and status. Her famous retort, "You told me you were a lord, and I told you I was a princess, and I think I fitted you," resonated with a public all too aware of the era, social climbing and hypocrisy. Her passionate, eloquent self-defense dazzled the court, and she was acquitted of bigamy. For a brief moment, Mary Carleton, the fake princess, was a folk hero, a woman who had beaten the men at their own game. The anatomy of a con. How Mary fooled a nation. How did Mary Carleton, daughter of a tradesman, convince so many that she was royalty? Her success lay in a perfect storm of charm, intelligence, and the willingness of others to be deceived. 1. The power of performance. Mary was a master of social cues. She adopted the accent, etiquette, and dress of European nobility. She forged letters and documents to support her story. In a society where few could verify foreign titles or correspondence, her confidence was her shield. 2. Exploiting gender and class. As a woman, Mary was expected to be meek and honest. Expectations she used to her advantage. Her story of loss and exile played on the sympathies of her audience. At the same time, she challenged the rigid boundaries of class, proving that status could be faked as easily as a signature. 3. Capitalizing on Restoration culture. The Restoration Court under Charles II was notorious for its flamboyance, intrigue, and appetite for novelty. London was a city of masks, where new money and old titles mingled uneasily. In this world, Mary was both a product and a critique, a living satire of the social climbing around her. The downfall, crime, capture, and execution. Mary's triumph was short-lived. After her acquittal, she continued her schemes, marrying and robbing a string of new victims. Each marriage was built on false promises and forged papers. Each escape grew more desperate. Eventually, her crimes caught up with her. At about 30 years old, after being implicated in a new round of thefts and bigamy, Mary Carleton was sentenced to death by hanging. Her execution was a public spectacle. Crowds gathered to see the infamous German princess meet her end. Some jeered, others mourned, and a few even admired her nerve to the very last. The afterlife of a scandal. Mary Carleton in print and legend. Mary's story did not end with her death. In the months after her execution, Londoners devoured pamphlets, ballads, and even plays about her exploits. Her autobiography, The Case of Madame Mary Carleton, became a sensation, blending fact, fiction, and outright lies. Writers and playwrights turned her into a symbol, a warning against female ambition, a critique of class pretensions, and, for some, a subversive heroine who exposed the hypocrisy of the elite. The social context. Why Mary's story mattered. Mary Carleton's life was not just an individual drama, it was a parable for her age. A time of change. The mid-17th century was an era of upheaval. The English Civil War had upended the old order. The Restoration brought both new freedoms and new uncertainties. The lines between classes blurred as fortunes shifted and new opportunities arose. The role of women. Women like Mary had few legal rights or prospects. Marriage was often their only path to security. In this context, Mary's use of marriage as a tool, however criminal, was also a desperate bid for autonomy. The culture of appearance. In a city where everyone was trying to be someone, Mary was both a cautionary tale and a mirror. Her ability to pass as royalty exposed the fragility of social boundaries. If a servant's daughter could become a princess with nothing but nerve and a good story, what did that say about the society that believed her? Mary Carleton's enduring legacy. Mary Carleton remains a fascinating figure because she forced her world to confront uncomfortable questions. What is identity if it can be so easily faked? Who is the real criminal, the deceiver, or the society that makes deception the only path to survival? Is Mary a villain, a victim, or a rebel? Modern readers may see her as an early anti-hero, a woman who refused to accept her lot, who seized life on her own terms, and who paid the ultimate price for her audacity. Conclusion: the Princess of Pretenders. Mary Carleton's story endures because it is so much more than a crime chronicle. It is a tale of ambition, resourcefulness, and the hunger for a better life. It is a reminder that the boundaries of class, gender, and truth are often more fragile than we care to admit. Her life was a performance, her death a spectacle, and her legend an invitation to question the stories we are told, to challenge the roles we are assigned, to remember that beneath the masks we wear, we are all searching for a bit of magic, a way to become something more. So next time you hear a story that seems too good to be true, or meet someone whose past is just a little too mysterious, think of Mary Carleton, the princess who fooled a nation, and ask yourself, would you have believed her too?